Hi, welcome to this first tutorial of GUImpact. We see here the basic usage of GUImpact by creating a simple 3D GUI, a GUI with a label and two buttons. So the first thing you have to do in GUImpact is to use the GUImpact services prefab here. So drag and drop it in your scene, okay, and this prefab is pretty important because it holds the behavior required to make GUImpact work properly. And the first thing you have to know with this prefab is to configure the camera here in the physics layer input handler. This camera will be used to raycast and then check if an element is under your cursor. So it's very important if you want to interact with your GUI. Okay, once you've done that, we want also to create a GUI with a label two buttons. The first thing you have to do then is to add a root container. The root container is designed to hold any GUI elements in 3D environments. So you can see here there's a yellow border and a magenta border. The yellow here, yellow gizmo, shows the position and size of your GUI elements, whereas magenta gizmo is specific to containers and shows the space available for its children. So here we have a simple root container which is holds default values. But now we want also to add a label, so drag and drop a label as a child of the root container here. So you have the well-known hello world here, and then we can change the title to an awesome title like that, and you can see that the yellow border of the label shows the position size here. So first thing we have to do with this is to position and size properly our label. So check out this. So you can see that for position and size you have two values. You have absolute and relative values. The relative values are very handy if you want to position and size your children depending on your parents. So here you can, for instance, we want our label to be on top here, have the full width, and for instance 20% of the height of our container. So full width means a relative size on one on the x-axis and 20%, so 0.2 in 8, and we have to remove our absolute size. So here just to check that you don't have to choose between absolute and relative sizing, it's just an addition of those two values. So you can have a relative size of 1 here, so it takes the full width, but you can also add 1 unit in width if you want, or subtract it, for instance. With those parameters you can really do any positioning and any sizing that you want. Okay, so that's cool, but we want our label to be on top here. For that we can use an anchor here. The anchor will place, you can see the root game object here to be the anchor of our GUI elements. Or anchor, so you have the basic anchor here, so it can be top or top left, it can be left or bottom, like this. So choose the best anchor you need here, and then from this you can position or resize like you want. Okay, that's cool, but we want now to add some button here, but it's really a pain to just configure through absolute and relative positioning and sizing the space here. So for that we can use layouts. So check out in the root container here, and you can see that there's a container layout base here. This behavior is the default layout and added to any container, but you can change it. So here we use a vertical slot layout like this. The vertical slot layout will evenly space and divide your content space of any container depending on what slot you want. For instance, we want a slot that takes the full width and have a slot size, for instance, of the open no the open 3. I could something a bit something smaller, maybe, like for instance um like that. So you have here in Measures the different slots, and you can see very evenly spaced, but you can see also here that there's some space that are not used by your layout. But you can fix it. You can use the fill content space, so it will adapt your slot size, so the full space of your container will be used here. So you don't have to check exactly which relative slot size you require for that. Okay, so we have our slots. It could be cool to have some space between our slots. So an absolute of 0.3. Okay, we have some space. It's more readable now. Okay, now we want to place our element in those slots. So here our title is above because it is assigned to slot -1 here, because we didn't assign it to any slot. To do so, just place the number of the slots you want in the name of your game object. So if I rename it here 00 title, our awesome title will be assigned to the first slot here, like that. And we want our title to use the full width and full height of our slots, so that became very simple here. Up. And we can replace our anchor to center, for instance. Okay, so we have our label, which is placed here. That's cool. Now let's have a button here. So just drag and drop our button as the chair of the root container. Now I want to place it, so rename it for instance the third slot, so 02 button, which will be the start button here. Okay, we want it to take the full width, full height, like the label, so we change the relative size. Okay, one, it's better like this. Okay, and why not have some depth in that, so change the Z. Okay, we have some depth here. Okay, that's cool. We need to change the label, so our start button is better with the start label here. Okay, so we can try it, but first we need to check to fill in the first focused elements here. In GUImpact, when you use your inputs, there's always a focused element. So when you create your GUI, you need to fill in the focused element here. That will be the first focused element in your GUI. Okay, so let's try. So we have our title and our button, which work here. Okay, that's very simple here. Now let's add a second button. So duplicate the previous button, change the name and its position in the layout button, which this will be the quit button. Change the label and update its position. Okay, so it's just here. That's cool, but both are buttons, so it could be handy to add some callback on those. And you can do that with an action app. Here it's an array that you can define, and each item on the array will be called to trigger a callback. Those callback can be through a method invoker or animator setter. Method invoker will let you to call any method you want on any object. So that's pretty cool. For instance, if I want to call on the button a method like, for instance, console invoke or is invoked, I can do just like this. So your method have just to be without any arguments, and if you select so your component, you can call the method. Even on basic method on basic components, you can call anyone or even game objects. You can call stop animation, for instance. Okay, but that's not what we are going to do here. We are going to use the animator setter. First one, for a GUI, it's really useful to use an animator to animate, for instance, your camera from one topic to another, to change dynamically your layouts, your position and size of elements through animation. Because here you can set any parameters in mechanism through this callback, and most properties of GUImpact can be animated through mechanism and the Unity-based API. So that's really, you can have the full power of Unity to animate, to create your GUI, and then just use GUImpact to bind everything. So that's our start button here. Okay, so let's create our animation for our tutorial. So let's create first a still animation for camera. Tutorial 0 and camera still animation here. So oh, the controller wasn't on the proper game object here. Okay, so we have our animator of the main camera. We have animation. Just move it a little bit like this. Okay, just do a sort of ping pong animation. Okay, that's a simple still animation for a camera. That's our first. Now let's do a shake animation that will be triggered by a button. Camera shake here. So move it on top. Okay, rotate it, and the same, do a ping pong up, flat, like this. Okay, we have a shake and our still animation here. Now in the mechanism view here, just have to define first a trigger parameter named shake and create a transition here. So first transition from shake, and the other when the animation finishes. Okay, that's good. Now we just have to bind our button. So the animator is here. It's a trigger and name shake. Okay, let's try it now. So we have our still animation and our shake animation here, triggered by our start button. Okay, so that's all. You've seen here how to create a basic GUI with GUImpact. You've seen positioning, sizing, anchoring, and callback with a button. So hope that this video was useful for you, and enjoy GUImpact.